the summertime, the sun is hot. The days are long. Leaves are full grown on the trees. There are so many leaves, so close together, that it's hard to see past them. The leaves almost block sunlight from shining through. Leaves form a protective cover, shading the forest below. Here, the air isn't very hot, but it's still warm and moist. We don't see many forest animals on hot summer days because, like the raccoon, they seek shady places to rest. Snakes spend much of their time in the shade of logs and rocks. Even birds seem less active, although they still move about, hunting for food. Many forest birds feed on insects. Insects are at their busiest during the summer. Caterpillars are busy feeding on leaves. Katydids also feed on green plants. As the weeks go by, the days become shorter. What has happened to these leaves? As leaves are being eaten by insects, seeds and fruits are forming on trees. Seeds, you know, can grow into new plants. Some seeds grow inside cones. These are cones of a spruce tree. Seeds also grow inside nuts, like acorns. Berries and other fruits contain seeds too. Many forest birds feed on berries. The raccoon feeds on berries and on insects. Toward the end of summer, many birds fly to warmer lands. We say that they are migrating. As summer comes to an end, the forest becomes cooler and drier. Less rain falls, so there is less water to flow up the trunk of each tree. Less water reaches each branch. Less water reaches each leaf. At the base of each leaf stem, the plant material begins to grow thicker. It grows in the form of a band or ring around the stem. This cuts off the supply of water to the leaf. Without water, the green matter in each leaf begins to die. As this happens, the colors of leaves begin to change. The warmth of summer is past. Autumn has come to the forest. Nuts and seeds are fully grown, and they begin to drop from the trees. Walnuts, hickory nuts, beech nuts, horse chestnuts, acorns. You know that a tiny acorn can grow into a giant oak tree. Most nuts are gathered by squirrels or other forest animals for food. Squirrels carry many nuts to holes in trees, where they store them for the coming winter. Of course, some they eat right away. Many nuts are also buried in holes that squirrels dig in the ground. Enough nuts must be put away to last through the coming winter. Other animals are also busy searching for food. This mink seems to sense the coming of winter. He looks thin now. He'll need to fatten up a bit before winter starts. The opossum, too, seems to sense that his food supply is getting smaller. The raccoon usually washes its food. Now he's searching for clams, snails, and other food in a forest stream. Grass growing along the edge of the forest is one of the favorite foods of the deer. As the days get colder, the deer of the forest begin to get fatter. Their fur begins to get longer and thicker. This will help the deer to stay warm when winter winds sweep through the forest. As winter approaches, leaves begin to fall. Can you think why autumn is sometimes called fall? As the weather becomes cooler and the days become shorter, more birds begin to migrate. They seem to sense that soon there won't be enough food for them, so they begin their journey to warmer lands. A few weeks later, the leaves have turned brown. Soon the ground will be covered with snow and ice. How will the forest animals live then? Well, look how fat the raccoon looks. He has enough food stored in his body to help him get through the winter with little to eat. He'll crawl into a hole in the ground or into a hollow log or tree and spend much of the winter in a deep sleep. Snakes also seek shelter as winter approaches. So does the mink. Each animal seeks a place to keep warm and to hide from animal enemies. The squirrel will also spend part of his time huddled in his home. But he'll come out now and then to dig up the nuts he has stored. The raccoon continues to find whatever food he can. His fur is thick and long now. Some insects are also getting ready for the winter. Many caterpillars spin cocoons. The cocoon will protect the tender insect from cold, dry winter air. During the last days of autumn, geese, ducks, and other water birds stop by the forest on their way south. Each year, these birds follow the same paths through the sky. Finally, a day comes when all the migrating birds have left. The other animals will stay through the winter. The forest is ready.